Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Drawing with PenMark. I hope you all had a good holiday season, and or if you don't celebrate anything, I hope you just had a good time. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I now have all my flat colors in, and as you can tell, sometimes I skip a step and jump right into adding shading. It's only because I've done this over and over and over and I'm used to it that I can occasionally skip a step because I already know where I'm going to put something. But if you're just learning and you're trying to figure out where colors go and everything, it is always smart to put in your flat colors first and then go ahead and think of lighting and do shadows. I tend to skip steps because, yeah, I'm used to it. One thing that a friend of mine named Farah, who's also an artist, she pointed out something that I don't really do much and I need to do way more. And I'm really thankful she mentioned this, is using my selection tool more often, which you see me doing right now on this table. Selection tool is so useful, and I've been ignoring it for lazy reasons. But yeah, as you can possibly see, I've outlined the table with the selection tool, and then just fill in brown. Whoops, sorry about that. I fill in brown and now I've got my table. It's probably a bit too bright of a brown. That's a little bit better because it's supposed to be in the dark. The only light source is the TV in front of them, a lamp behind them that I added, and the hallway behind them way back there. I think technically he said there's little LED lights over here on the bookshelf over here, so you'll see little light there, but it probably won't affect much other than the books and stuff. So a lot of this will be really dark. Actually, I'm looking at the camera, you guys will probably see everything just fine. But over time, I'll be adding a lot of heavy shadows in places because dark. Another thing that Farah pointed out, which I'm also thankful for, is that I need to start using swatches more. They may not be as consistent as I should because this version of Photoshop that I have, I don't see a way of saving the swatches I put down permanently. Like, I don't know how to save them permanently. Well, in the sense of, like, I can save them, and then when I open Photoshop later, they'll still be there. But if I accidentally mess with this menu up top and click one of their default settings, it will go to that. I think it already did, and deletes everything I had before, which sucks. I really, really do not like that that lack of saving feature. It's not fun. But this is a student version of Photoshop that I've had for years because I never was able to afford a better version, and I stuck with this. So occasionally I'll still use the color picker too much, but yeah. What is it? The dodge and burn tools. I don't recommend using them all the time, but I occasionally use them, like right now, because it's a good way to add a quick shadow. Don't rely on the burn or dodge tool because it doesn't technically do dark and light shades correctly. Like in real life, the way things get darker or brighter in the light in the environment does not follow the dodge or burn tools. Alright, so I think today's going to be the big episode where I just start doing my painting detailing. Okay, another thing I forgot. All these things I'm mentioning, geez, a lot. That's kind of a big deal. Well, it feels like a big deal. It's different. I'm not used to it. I'm in another picture. My character's in another picture. Originally, there was a gray wolf here, but at the request of the commissioner, this guy, he requested that for whatever reason, had to take out the other guy, and now I'm in the picture. So, granted, I only know two of the people in here. But yeah, I'm in here. Nah, I won't start with me. It's my character. Or maybe for you I'll do it because it'll be easier. There's my clueless, silly face in rabbit form. But yeah, best friend of mine in terms of tools to use when you're doing painting in Photoshop or any digital program is the Alt key, because it picks up, it's basically the color picker. It's the little eyedrop, whatever it's called. Let me see what they call it. Yeah, they call it the eyedropper tool, and it picks up whatever color you click. So doing that, and I put my opacity at like around 40, I then just quickly I'll like make a stroke to make things slightly darker or brighter to blend the colors, and then just keep doing it. And it's an easy way to blend, because I can just quickly press that Alt key every single time I need to pick whatever color I just created by blending. And I'm literally pushing the Alt key like every other stroke. It's like stroke, stroke, Alt key, stroke, stroke, Alt key. I'm doing it back and forth all the time, because it's really useful to get blended colors. Even though I'm not using the selection key selection tool right now, which I should be, I do have all of these guys on a separate layer, so that if I make any strokes like out here on accident, it doesn't actually go on the layer of the background. But yeah, I use this to start adding textures. Be aware of the direction you're making your brush strokes. I guess that's kind of a beginner, obvious thing to do, but I don't know. For a while, people, even, you know, when I look back, I think I did it a lot, where I would kind of forget to pay attention to what direction I'm making my brush strokes. I just go, oh, this part's supposed to be darker. Well, what direction should it be darker? You know, because like with the fur on this character here with the rat, like, well, with all of them, when you do fur textures, your brushstroke direction makes all the difference, because yeah, it's literally all your brushstrokes by accident, or just by, you know, as you make them, it's automatically making the strands of hair, the strands of fur. So that's really useful. And I apologize that I'm still kind of getting used to talking while drawing. I either talk a whole lot and don't make much progress on the drawing, or I don't pay attention to what I'm saying. Like right now. I've been really happy to see you guys watching these videos and giving me some feedback. You are perfectly welcome to ask questions. Even though I'm obviously working on something, I can usually demonstrate most of the elements of a picture, like any of the techniques that come to mind. Like even if, as I'm working on painting or details, if you were to go, well, actually I have a question about anatomy, I could still tie that in. I could still make that relate and not intrude on the picture. So, like, I actually mean it when I say that all questions are welcome, even as I work on something. Like, that's fine with me. Because yeah, I want this to be very interactive. I want you guys to, like, give me topics and feedback actively, so that I can, on the next episode, answer a question you have. And to me, that always felt cool whenever I've watched videos and, like, hear a slight, like, okay, I've never actually had it happen to me, but like someone you're watching a video of makes a comment about something that you actually mentioned, and it's like, wait, are you literally mentioning me? That's so cool. I've never actually had it happen, but I've almost had it happen. Like, you know, various YouTubers I watch, like, they mention, oh, hey, I noticed a lot of people liked this thing, and I go, ooh, I liked that thing. He's almost talking about me, or she's practically mentioning me, indirectly. And, since I'm, well, I mean, I'm welcome to it, and I'm literally wanting to respond to comments here actively, so yeah, you guys are, you're all welcome to. And I really appreciate everyone who watches this. I mean, I'm glad. Again, I'm not able to do live streams because of my old computer, so this is the next best way that I can share my process and interact with you guys. And as I mentioned in one of my vlogs most recently. Oh, excuse me. I made the mistake of eating right before this, so I'm disgusting right now. Burping and all that. Anyway, yeah, I also use this process on YouTube to get me more comfortable talking in front of people, because, yeah, with my health, I have not really been able to go places. So, yeah, to cancel out the isolating factor there, I like to force myself in front of people and still kind of have a confrontation with my stage fright. I don't want to stay too much in silence as I draw, unless you guys are okay with that. But, yeah, sometimes I just zone out as I draw. The thing that comes to mind that I think I'll mention is when it comes to shadows like this. Here we go, make it more obvious so you can see the picker. Color picker. It just sounds weird. Anyway, I get so distracted. When you're making a color darker, like say I'm doing this blue for my hair, it's tempting to want to just go towards the black, but that isn't a very natural effect. When things get darker, they shift towards another color. A lot of the times, if you start shifting towards blue or purple, that can do a good effect. Like with my hair here, as I add more like lighting effects, I'm going to start to add some blue in portions here, like the more of a violet blue, like a darker blue. It's a way of getting something darker without it losing visibility. Like you can still kind of see it. See, like right here, I'm doing on my the shoulder. I'm adding a giant blue blotch there, which is like, wait, why are you adding blue? But as I get closer to blue or purple, over time it creates like an ambient darkness. Like a lot of like movies and stuff, when it's nighttime, the color scheme isn't black and white, it's blue and purple. You'll see like this, everything's slightly blue or purple tinted. It's a way of getting everything to look darker, but you can still see what you're looking at. It's also a good amount of like ambient light to the picture, so that it's not just a whole lot of dark. And there'll be ambient light I add in later, like, okay, I'll go ahead and just jump in and do it. Episode's almost over, but I can jump in this real quick. The hallway over here, let me zoom out. It's going to do a lot of ambient light, so all of my characters on the edges that touch the light from that room, from the hallway, are going to get a highlight, and not the type that's literally dyeing your hair, but a highlight that it's the light hitting the edge of the object. So I go to usually white, or if it's really close, I'll use the color of the light, like a green or a yellow, whatever the color is. Right now I'm just going to use white because that's a good starter and it's easy to see. I put my opacity really low, 20 or 30, and I start on the edge of the object, I'm adding white. And that pops the object out and adds a lot of contrast. It takes a while to get used to how much to put on there, because you don't want to get carried away and put a really, really heavy white like that, unless the light is really bright. I mean, if it's really intense light, that might look okay, but even then, it's usually kind of faded. So yeah, you don't want to get too carried away with it, but it's really good to experiment with it. Over time, I'll be blending that so that it's more of a natural gradation like this. You can see it kind of slowly gradates from that white back into the color that I have here, like the brown. It takes a while to get used to. Gosh, I did it for like years. Like in college, I remember I got into that phase where I was like, you know what? I need to start adding highlights because I see people do it all the time. I never do it. I think it would actually look better. And yeah, it takes a long time to get used to. Before, like I still did line art and coloring. And even then, like, it was hard to add those highlights because it just didn't feel right. Or I wasn't really sure how much to put on there or where to put it. Like right here, I don't think I'd put much on my nose or any of this, but it is a snout of an animal, so technically it pops forward a little bit, so there is going to be a little bit of highlight there you can see. And over time, through the picture, I might get rid of some of that, but it helps that pop out. Because some of that is going to be, some of that light right there is going to be hit from the hallway here. But yeah, I just go in at low opacity and start adding in those highlights to the objects. In small amounts, because that's maybe too intense, but... yeah, see there, like it's now an ambient light source, and the object's popping. And yeah, eventually you also get used to like shiny objects like this. Like if I have a shiny object, like this guy, if this character had like, well, maybe with the glasses, it might pick up some of the red from this guy's really bright fur. So you might, when the light's reflecting, have the tiniest bit of red in that corner of the glasses because of his fur. Like some touches like that with how light refracts off of objects can be so subtle you'll almost not notice it, but it can make a big difference in like the final details of a picture. Alright, I ran this episode kind of long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think that will be it for now on... yeah, I don't know what else to cover related to that topic that I haven't already said. So, thank you all for watching. I will, while this episode's away, when we're ready for the next episode off camera, I will be working on details like this. I'll jump in for another episode to talk about something else. We'll see. I don't really plan these yet. These are just kind of warm-up episodes, but I really appreciate all the feedback and ideas you guys might have. Let me know in the comments section of anything you're curious about. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is PenMark, and see you next time.